Hi, this is Larry with ManCave Mayhem. Today, behind me is my new 2023 Tab 400 from NuCamp. With this trailer that we purchased, although it's small and compact and easy to use, the only drawback with that, you are limited on storage options. So today, I'm gonna be working on a little storage option that a lot of people do, but I kind of wanted to show you how I'm going to do it. A lot of people show how that it's done, but I don't see anything out there on how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this. What I want to do is find a storage option for my sewer hose. And I notice a lot of people do store it right here. And they'll use expanded metal and put an aluminum top on it. And that gives them an area to store their sewer hose. So I'm going to work on that today, possibly make a little space down here. And I want to do it in a manner to where I don't have to permanently attach it to the trailer. And what I mean by that is I don't want to weld the expanded metal or the metal that I'm going to be using to the trailer. I want to be able to bolt it or sandwich it to the trailer rails. So when I'm done with it, I can take it out. Or if I decide I don't want it there, I can remove it. Or even if I want to paint it for maintenance purposes, you know, it gets rusty or something, I want to pull it off and paint it, then I can do that. So the metal that I found that I think will work well is some of this stuff. I had this sitting in the back. It's not expanded metal. I do have some expanded metal, but I kind of like this better. It's like punch plate. So we're going to go ahead and make a pattern of this, cut it out, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to sandwich that to the trailer. And doing it that way, it will basically sandwich on the trailer rails, and that'll allow me the option of pulling it off if I need to. I may even hang it down a little lower by shimming it. So if I do that, that way it'll give me a little bit more depth and space for the sewer hose and maybe some other nasties that I want to put in there. So we'll call it the turd trunk. So anyhow, for the turd trunk on the front, we're gonna have hopefully we'll design a cover or something to put on the top of that as well that will look nice and finished and will allow us easy access to get to that sewer hose when we need to. Stay tuned also for other videos on this NuCamp Tab 400. We have yet to really do any videos on this, but we are going to do a official walkthrough video, kind of show you what we've done so far. We've only camped in it once. We're planning on taking it out for a week here shortly. And while I'm out for a week, I'll probably do another video on it. So if you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. Now let's get on with the video. We're gonna do, this piece of steel's too big to really fit under there. Measure it. So I'm going to measure and cut a manageable piece of steel so I can put it up underneath here, and then I can just outline it with a Sharpie. That seems the easiest method to me to do, and so that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll get back with you. All right, now that I've got this cut, or I've got it measured to cut at a reasonable size that I can manage, I'm going to go ahead and use my trusty trash can provided by the city, and we're going to cut that section out, and then we will be ready to do the final cutting once we take it over to the front of the trailer and get it sized up the way we want it. So let's get that started now. Yeah. All right, now that we got that cut to a manageable size, I got this laying down here. I'm going to clamp this to the underside of that trailer frame. That way I can use a Sharpie and mark off the exact size that I want for this project. Now I've got this thing clamped up to the underbelly of this, and you can see how that's going to work there. It'll give it some ventilation to dry out. Now there are some openings in the back that I may be a little concerned about losing the hose out of. That being said, I may take a piece and back that. And what I mean by that is stand that up with a piece of angle, put another piece there just to kind of cage that in. So at this point in time though, I think we'll be okay. We're gonna go ahead and mark this now with a Sharpie, and that'll make it easy for cutting now. So just make sure when you do this, see how I don't have this lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and move this forward some more, get it all lined up with the front of this so it fits in there really nice. All right, this will just give you an idea how that sewer hose packs down in there. So we're gonna go ahead and mark it now, but I just wanted you guys to see that the sewer hose does fit in there. It's a tight squeeze, but it works out pretty good. It actually keeps it out of the way and keeps the nasties from everything else. All right, now that we got that screen marked out, you can see the lines. Now we're gonna get to cutting that. Then we should have our fitment there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to figure out a way to clamp that onto the frame. So we're gonna go with that for now, that's all. All right, so we got this cut. We got the primary cutting done. This side came out pretty good. It's pretty flush, but we have a little bit of overhang on this side. You can see some of the jagged edges. So we're gonna clean those up. That's gonna be the next step, but you can kind of see, I'm gonna bring it back here so you can see how it looks back here. So it kind of goes right up against the tire. Now there is a little opening there. I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but like I said before, I may still box that in. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this edge up and get back to what we're working on here. That's all. I got some washers and some bolts, and the holes here happen to be pretty close to the size that they need to be for these bolts. So I got a drill that I used to drill out some of the holes to make them fit. So what I'm gonna do is try to pinch washers onto this to hold this up. And what that'll do is it'll prevent me from drilling into the frame. So we'll see if it works. I'll show you how I'm doing it, and then you guys can decide how you want to do this. But right now, probably for this trip, I'm just gonna leave the basket. I'm not gonna put a lid on it because we're making a trip here in a few days. But I just wanted to kind of show you how I get that basket in there. So we'll get that started right now. Okay, so what I've done here is very simple, and I did it the most non-invasive way I could figure out, and that was with I basically took a washer and a bolt and ran it through the bottom. Then I took a larger washer that would go over the lip of this, and then a smaller washer, and then I nutted it up. And I've done that in 4 spots. I'm gonna actually do it in 6 spots. I've done it in 5 locations. Now, I'll put another one back here. But basically, the order in which I did it is this. I'll show you. I did a washer underneath, came up through the screen, and then I put the larger washer on over the lip of the trailer frame, and then I threw that smaller washer on just to act as a little shim, and then the nut goes on top of that, and that seems to hold it snug. It's non-invasive. It's not pretty, but nobody's really looking in there, you know. And it will keep that from being a permanent fixture. I can always pull it off and clean it or paint it or do whatever I need to do to it. So that's my solution for the base of that. Now I'm going to pull it out, and we'll throw some black paint on it and get it painted to match the trailer frame. So we'll use a little satin black or semi-gloss black, and that will complete the bottom half of that. All right, so I got the bottom painted. It's all test fitted, fits really well. But I think I'm gonna put a back on this thing just to keep anything from sliding back out of the box there. So I found this angle, this scrap metal. I think it was used for a garage door opener or something that I never used. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut it, put it on the back, and then make a little wall or a little barrier there, and then that'll keep anything from sliding out of the back. So that's what I'm going to do next. I think, like I said before, I don't think I'm going to put a top on this right away. I'm going to see, because that hose stuffs in there pretty good, so I don't think it's going to come out. I may just run a bungee over the top of it just to make sure it stays in place, but I'm going to run it like that this week and see how I like it. I don't see the need to cover it really, and it keeps it low maintenance and it gives me that ability to use it for whatever I want. Doesn't enclose it, and it'll just sit there. It can air out, you know. So we'll see how that works. We kind of formed a backing on this so nothing can fall through it on the backside. It's not beautiful, but nobody's going to really see that. We're going to paint over it. It'll be up under the trailer, so, but that will stop anything from coming through on that. You guys can do it the way you want. I just bolted this. I'm going to shoot this with paint, and you won't be able to see that, but it'll function as a fence there to keep anything from falling. I just kind of erector sat that together and painted it. So now next step is to get it inside the trailer frame right there, and we'll have a little cubby there to store some more items, especially the poopy ones. Before it goes in, now I had to shorten this up on the ends so it would fit back behind the flush back behind where the tire's at. So this is in front of the tire, and this little guard here will help keep anything from falling through. So now we'll get this, we're going to touch this up with some paint, and we'll get it bolted up, and then I'll show you the finished result. Like I said, I'm not going to put a lid on it yet. May not use a top on it at all, because it just makes it easy to access, and I don't think it's going to come flying out of there. But you can do what you want. You can adapt it however you want. This was just my little idea for a little storage bin, a wet storage bin, and it can be used for your sewer hose. You can use it for whatever you need. Wet shoes, dirty shoes, you can throw them in there, and when you're camping, you have a place to kind of just let wet stuff sit. So now the way I put this in is with just washers and bolts, and I bolted it through this punch plate, and it just kind of pinches it. And you could probably make a bracket to do the same thing. I just thought, you know, it would be easy to make a bracket and drill through the bracket. I might do that later. Right now I'm just testing this out to see how I like it, but eventually you can get a piece of angle and make a little bracket and then just bolt it through and it'll pinch it. So you would use an L bracket, just bring it down and do it that way. But the way I've done it is secure. You can see it's not going anywhere. Also in the rear, I put that barrier up so nothing really big will fall through there. So that's basically it for that install. We're going to go ahead and run with it for a while. I hope you like the Tab 400 trailer mod that I did. If you do, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Check out my other videos. We do a lot of scooter, motorcycle videos, but I will do some Tab 400 videos, reviews, and modifications that I'm doing to this trailer right now. I'm going to have a lot more videos on this NuCamp Tab 400 2023 model. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Check us out on Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. And just remember, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks again for watching, folks.